Welcome back. So today the work should finish on the front subframe. Fourth time. So what the plan is for today, we are going to, that is really driving me fucking up the wall, man. So the plan is for today, we are going to get the front subframe hopefully finished. I'm going to say we should now have enough clearance, as long as the engine doesn't sit any lower or it's not moved or anything. It should now have plenty of clearance to obviously spin the drive shaft. If not, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the base plate out, like the actual last bit of the subframe that's there, and we're going to sort of tunnel it out a bit. We're also going to throw in today some cross braces or sort of triangle supports. So from the top of the subframe down to the bottom half, we're just going to put a tube on that, and then we're going to jump back over to the actual interior of the work. The plan was, I've got bits for this, they're off another car that's in the workshop at the minute. The plan was to try and help the lad that's actually doing it, and basically acquire some bits that I need for this. So we're going to be taking an accelerator, brake pedal, master cylinder, and a clutch pedal, and the gear linkage. Yeah, I know the car that's coming off isn't exactly the same, but from what I understand, it's the same gearbox. So we will see. If I can get onto that today, I will. If not, it will have to be next week. So we'll next week it might not be metro work, but it might be something else. So we'll see how we get along. But for now, we're going to have a quick tidy up because I can't find anything in here because all the work I did last weekend. And then we're going to crack on to doing some welding. So let's get cracking. So just to explain what I was doing, because to some people it won't make any sense. The years of structural engineering that I did taught me something. So welding on this side, basically what I did was weld the bottom corner here, this one, and then went around the other side and did that side. And the same on that. It causes the heat to be displayed equally. I know it's only a small piece that we're welding on, but you can still get quite a lot of twist from it. So that's why we welded one side, the other side, completely opposite. So it was this end, and this end, right at the top. That's why I welded both ends first. Same on that side, same on that side, and then we just alternated between them. It might look like I had no idea what I was doing. But basically what it'll do is it'll stop it twisting and warping. Obviously there's not a lot there. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to trim these down and make them into like a triangled edge. So it looks like sort of like it was naturally there, like the car was, it was meant to be there. And then we're going to flip it over, and then from this point here to a point up here, once I've trimmed it and made it look a bit nicer, we're going to basically go turn it over, and we're going to put these braces in. And once we've got these braces in, we'll probably cover quick coat of primer whilst it's cooling down. We'll tidy all these welds up before we turn it over as well. There's a couple of little bits on the inside that need re-welding. Basically it's where they're not welded from factory, so we're going to weld them up anyway. We're going to try and add some strength into like things like this as well. So there's going to be a lot of welding on this, just on this subframe today. I want to get to the point where I'm comfortable that 250 brake horsepower isn't going to try and rip it in half. Same with the car, there's still a heck of a lot of work to do in the car. So let's get cracking. So, as you can see, what we've done is basically we put this piece of box on last week. I've welded all the way around it, and then I've basically put these little plates on the bottom just to fill it all in. Oh, you can't see the sun's on that there. So I've filled it all in. What we're going to do now is we're going to wait for it to cool down a bit because it is rather warm. I've done the same on the other side. This is the side that I'm thinking I may have to just gully this bit out here, but I'm unsure until I get it back in the car. Once we've done that, what we're going to do is we're going to fill in all these scratch marks here. Try and tidy this up a bit, because this is where all the gusseting was, if you remember on the episode. So there's a few holes here and there's some here, but what we're going to do is we're going to flip it over once we've tidied it all up, and there's obviously all these little gaps, obviously where manufacturers don't weld them all the way up. As this car is going to have a lot more horsepower than original, we best weld everything up. So this may just be an episode of finishing this, getting it done. But what I mean is, by a bar, we're going to take a bar from here and we're going to drop it onto here, so it'll be nice and strong there. Gives us plenty of room here, but what I might do is that one to there, and I might take one from here and just bring it just in front of the other one, just to give it that bit more support. So we one from here to here and one to there, but I'm unsure yet. Also, we're going to replate this, because obviously there was a plate here at one point. We are going to re-put the plate, but we're going to do all that when we flip it over. And then basically we're going to plate this, plate that, and then basically make it all nice and look tidy. So it might just be an episode where we're just doing this today. I am sorry, but it needs to be done, so it might as well be done. See, there's all these. How manufacturers think this is good, but I suppose it's only a 1.1 it had in it. Now, I don't think I have to do all these. I did that one because it was just there. Some of them I won't even bother with. So let's get back to it. So, as you can see, what we've done is we've just flipped it over. I've got my brother to take the brake calipers off, and guess what? It's not seized. I'm dead surprised. The fluid's a bit yucking, but what I'm going to do is, hopefully if I can get the real ones off, not today, I'm hopefully taking them to where I work, and we're going to blast some of there to push the pistons out, and then basically buy a service kit and service them, clean them off and that. They're actually in good nick. I think the driver's side was probably binding more than the passenger side, because the pads that were in it shows that side was binding. But we'll clean them up and get them non-binding. Alright, so what we're doing here is we're going to be using this piece of tube. I'm basically going to run it from just there to here, and basically that'll add that strand back in. The other side, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tidy all up, make sure it's all nice and pretty, plate the holes that are on both sides, make it look nice. The other side's fine, I've got loads of room. This side on the other hand I'm unsure, so I'm not actually going to do that yet. I'm going to put this stamping bar in on both sides. We're going to tidy up all the cuts and marks on this side here and on the same on the other side. And then I'm going to weld up our studs, get everything nice and tidy on this side. Right, so as you see, bottom plate to welded in, gaskets are in. I was going to plate these two ends there, and obviously the same the side plate them, but until I've got the engine back in, I'm not going to bother because I've got a sneaky suspicion I'll have to take a bit more off that. So when we do that one, we'll do this one at the same time. We're going to quickly linish off these welds, make them all look nice and tidy, get these ones welded up, and then we're going to weld up the engine bars. They're in the right place, so what we're going to do is just going to weld them up because they need a bit of trimming and making look pretty before they go back in the car. So we're going to do that, and then we might jump over and weld up the actual car itself, but I'm unsure yet. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. So we're going to clean these welds up now. We're going to re-primer anywhere we've thing, just so we know we're not getting any more rust on it, and then we'll go from there. Let's get cracking. So, due to a technical issue with my camera, I forgot to turn the mic on when I was doing the outro. So this is the outro. As you saw, we've got the subframe back in. We did have a problem with it. It twisted, unfortunately. As you were putting it in, well, I thought it twisted. I've looked through footage back from the other ones, and it's not actually twisted. So we're gonna leave it for now. When we get to the point where the suspension's in place, new suspension, obviously, we're gonna move. We're gonna take it and get it aligned before we carry on with it. Obviously, if we've got a twist somewhere, we'll have to get it out. I've looked at pictures and videos, obviously earlier videos when we first put it in. It doesn't sit straight on the front. It's probably my fault. I have no doubt it is my fault at some point. But for now, we're just going to leave it as it is. We're going to crack on next weekend with the helicoil in the head, getting the engine in. Basically, we're going to throw it in, get the engine re-helicoiled, the top bolts that I've obviously lost their thread. And then we'll think about welding up all the front ends, and then we'll basically go from there. Please hit the like button, drop a comment, and thank you very much for subscribing. See you next time.